Hello everyone. I am recording the video of UiPath log file processing. Uh, so this is a little bit simpler um, file processing activity. You can also do that in lieu of the other one which I actually had shared. So I would like to thank my co-professor Dr. Denslin for coming up with this particular what you call uh, lab sheet. So let us look at the lab sheet first, and then let's see how this can be done. The lab sheet is very simple. Just one second. Let me see where it is. Uh, Somehow got covered under this particular panel over here, but that's okay. I think I had not moved it from the downloads. So let me go ahead and check it over here. Okay. So let's read the lab sheet first and then kind of do it. So here the objective is to create a UiPath process to extract details from the log file and store the extracted details into Excel sheet. So here the log files would be actually taken from the UiPath uh, log files itself. I'll show you where exactly this particular log files are actually created. Okay, the first few steps are very simple mm, and we have been doing it. This is so here also the variables are created. Note over here the variables are actually not initialized. Okay, it is actually initialized later in the process itself by using the assign statement. Okay, so let's go ahead and see how we can do it. I have a working copy also of this particular process over here, but let me do it once over all over again. Um, yeah, so that at least you get to know how it is being done. So I just name it UiPath log file processing demo. Okay, so oh, it's taking some time. Just pause it. So here you are. So we have the system got initialized, and here we are. So first few steps, as I said, are very same. So what we are going to do, we are going to put a message box, said start of log file processing, and I'll make it very explicit that it is we are trying to process the UiPath log file. I'll try to auto close it within a second. Okay. Then there are a bunch of data which has actually been created over here. So what I'm going to do is that I'll just pause the video, create all the data, and then maybe start. I guess every one of you are very familiar how data is actually created by this time. Okay, so I am back here again. So these are like the path which is of the type string, and this is actually collection of the file names. So that is actually a array of strings. Log data table is a type of the table, uh, data table type. I and N are actually the counters, which you will see how we are going to use in a while loop. And this is the file details. Okay, now the file details is of the type, if you come over here and see, it is of the type file info. So, so see how this is being done. So if you go over here in the drop down menu, there is no file info. So what you have to do is just click on browse for types and type file info. So if you type on the system IO, you will get this particular variable. So once that is done, so you're pretty much set for the automation. Okay, so let's go and see what we need to do. After that, we are going to do a bunch of assign activities to initialize all these variables. Okay, we'll initialize the path variable, we'll initialize the files variable, and we will also find out number of files which are actually log files which are there actually in the folder. So let's go ahead and do that. So so let us create the bunch of assign activities. Okay. Okay. So first assign activity was to initialize the path. So where exactly is the path? This is also would actually vary from use from system to system. So just watch actually how you actually can find where exactly your UI path log files are actually created. Okay. So this particular user this this is actually going to vary. Okay, if the user is there is no user called Win10 in your machine, then the the path will actually be different. So let's see how this can be done. Okay, so here you are. So let's see, use variable. Let's use the variable path. Yeah, and let's see how to get the location of where the UI path is creating its variables. Okay, so for that, actually you have to go to your C drive. Okay, and in the C drive, there is these files are actually okay. This you will have to go to app data over here, app data, local, and find out where UI path is. Yeah, there you are. Okay, logs. So this is going to be the path where your UI path logs actually exists, sits actually. So we will copy the path and come here, and we will have to put it in a quote. Okay. The catch here was that you will have to actually go to options over here. Sorry, you will actually have to kind of these files are actually hidden, so you'll have to unhide them. I guess you have to go to. So what you have to do is just go to this particular level over here. This app data will usually be actually hidden. So just click over here, go to options, and in the options, go to view, and just click here, don't show hidden file. So by default, this will actually not be seen. And yeah, if you want to see them, just click here, go to options, go to view, and then show hidden files. Okay, and apply. Moment you do that, your app data is actually visible, and just go into the app data, go to local, and just go to UI path logs. Okay, so this is the way you are going to get your path to where the UI file log exists. Okay, let me save that. Let me create a bunch of more assigns, and I'll just pause the video so that the video doesn't get too long. Okay, I just went ahead and created bunch of assigns over here. All these assigns are directly taken from this particular lab sheet over here. So in the files, we are getting the list of files which is there in that particular directory. So directory get files, and the path is given, and all files which are ending with .log is actually put in this particular array of strings over here. The n is actually the number of that is the length of this particular files, which basically means how many files are there. Okay, so and then we are going to do we are going to create a build data table activity. So inside this build data table activity, we are going to create the log data file with two columns, file name and date. So let's do that. We have also gone ahead and actually kind of assigned the initialize the counter variable I to be 0. Okay, so let's do this particular activity. Let's create that basic table with just the column using the build data table activity. You have to click on this particular column name, and I guess that is file name. This is of the type string. The next one column. I mean, we have to remove these default names. Is the date. Okay, this is also of type string. Okay, and there is something called text. We just have to remove that. Okay, so this is the basic structure of the table. And what is the name of the table? To give the name of the table, we will have to go to this properties, go to table here, use variable log data table. Okay, so done. So now the basic structure is actually created, and we are now ready to put the iteration uh, activity over here. The iterator which we are going to use is the loop, so rather looping activity which we are going to use is the while activity. So let's use that. So while is a top testing. So here is the condition. How long do we have to operate this while till we actually reach the number n? Okay. So you have to do I less than n. Okay. And why not I less than equal to n? That is actually going to be a Viva question. So just do give it a thought why I have actually not taken I less than equal to 10. Interestingly, you can also try putting I equal to n and see what happens to this particular execution. Okay, so we will kind of ask, we will kind of dwell on this during your Viva. Okay, in the body, what do we have to do in the body? We will have to uh, get the file info, get file info, and then assign the file path and output details. Okay, and then we are going to add the row into this log data table. So we will have to get the file info. Okay, look for the file path and look for the file detail, and then add it into the data table over here. So let's do this. Get file info. Okay, I had recently used, so it is there. So what is the path I need to use? Is actually the files. This is already captured in the array files. So just I have to use files bracket I. So having taken, and where do I have to output this one? We will have to output the details of the file path to file details, which is of the type file info. Use variable file details. So having done that, next is actually we will have to store it into the add row, right? Add a data row. Okay. So we will use uh, the array format to add it into the row. Just go ahead and actually copy this particular uh, list over here. You will have to copy with the brackets. So file details and the name of the file details dot last access, basically the date, last access date and to string. Okay. So that's done. Okay, data table. Okay. So what is the data table we have to write to? It is the log data table, right? And we have actually created the log data table in the build. Okay. And okay, so far guess everything is going good. Mm, okay, then there is one important activity. We will have to increment the counter by 1. That's very important. Otherwise, the counter is not going to um, increment, and then what is going to happen is again another Viva question. Okay, so pretty much my loop is all done. There are certain errors. Okay, file class is of the type cannot be used as an expression. Okay, let me pause the video, just look at it. What I'm going to see, I'm going to look into my working copy and see what mistake I did over here.